First thing,
Okay.
what did you make of the of Brandon's dunk, and would you say he's the second best dunker on the team?
Um, for sure. Obviously, man, he's a pretty athletic guy. Once he's on that side where he can step left or right, it's pretty much over for the defender. Once he gets to that launch pad. So as the play started to unfold and I seen him catch the ball, um, I thought it was gonna be a wide open dunk. I kind of starting to get the message that people would stop jumping, but just another person wanted to be on the poster. So
Hey, John, during this 10-game winning streak, what's been the constant that contributed to this 10-game winning streak with this team?
our mindset defensively. I can feel like been very consistent. Obviously, we have some defensive lapses in the game. Some periods where teams pretty much get what they want. But once we lock in defensively, we're a pretty tough team to beat. Because obviously with all the scoring we got around this team, offense pretty much not the problem. And we really don't focus on offense too much. We're defensive minded first, and once we get stops it opens up everything for us in transition and offensively. So I feel like that's probably the most consistent thing.
John, what's it like being in the midst of a winning streak like this? I mean, what kind of confidence comes with it when you're out there knowing that something's going to happen to help you win?
Honestly, I feel like we all know how much games we've won on this streak, but we pretty much didn't we don't say too much about it. Honestly, I feel like we all know, all right, this was win number 10, but going in the next game, our mindset is to have that 1-game win streak. So it's just handling business that game, and then after we win, then we can say, all right, 11, pretty much. So it's not too much into it. Obviously, we're in a good position right now. In the conference, we're playing very well. We just gotta continue to do what we've been doing, continuing to take it day by day, focus on the next most important thing, and go out there and win games.
John, what does it mean to you to play on such a monumental day in this city, and then of course get a dub on top of it?
Exciting, a blessing. Very thankful. Obviously, we know how much he means to this city, and how special this day is across the world. So to be able to embrace him, and for us to go out and play on this special day and get a win like we did is definitely big time, and it's something we were definitely happy about, and we preach throughout the locker room on how important this is. And you can see across the city how much everybody pretty much embrace this day, and every chance we get we try to do that, and making this statement tonight with a big win is even better.
Ja, right here. Last year through the playoffs, they said you guys were going through some growing pains and immaturity and just having to go through the playoff experience. Do you feel like now that you guys have grown up and you're playing with that confidence that you're kind of looking ahead, but you're not looking ahead?
Nah, we always had confidence. Last year, the year before, same thing. It's just gelling as a unit, getting to know guys. Chemistry's getting better. It's pretty much it, man. I feel like nothing really's changed for us. Just having that experience. Having the past 2 years. What we learned. Throughout that whole season, and then last year's season. Just taking it into this season. Obviously, it's bumps in the road, but we know we can turn the page really fast, and that's what we've been doing.
Hey, John, it's campaign season. Other than yourself, who deserves a shot in Utah?
Jaren and Des. Easy.
They defended you differently, felt like in both halves. Because first half you shot a lot of threes, second half you got to the basket a lot. What were you noticing out there, and what sort of adjustments did you make?
They went under. Yeah. Made shots, they start going over right to where I want to be on the floor. So cat and mouse.
All right, thanks, John.
There you go, right there. See my dog in Utah.